That's when it becomes Planet of the Apes.
Or something. But I'm saying, like, right now we have the shittiest textbooks. Everybody thinks school sucks. It's like, if kids were learning this as a curriculum, they would be excited to learn about the world around them and dig deeper.
It's true, and that's exactly why I started.
You're an educator.
That's exactly why I started doing what I do, is because this is what has been my passion my whole life. Like, this is what I've been looking for. I was actively, like, I knew there was something out there. I didn't know what it was, but I was having these thoughts ever since I can remember, since before I can remember. And this is what I was always looking, like, I knew this was...
Little Cullen's doodles or fractals.
I knew this was my path, and I didn't know, but obviously my parents had no clue about any of this stuff. No one around me, none of my teachers, no one else had any of this, stuff out there. And so once I found, once I came to this awakening, like that instantly it was, my fire lit within me, my light bulb went on. And, that's the first thought that I had was, I was like, this is my purpose. This is my mission. This is my path, is to share everything that I learn and everything that I know, because there are others out there who are like me, who have been also seeking this, this stuff their whole lives, and no one else around them has known it or was able to show them. So that's exactly why, that's what fuels me. That's my passion. That's my mission. My purpose is to simply show the things that for other people who are also seeking it.
What you seek is seeking you. Rafael said it a bunch. It's like, dude, don't deviate from the path and just follow the inner mounting flame within you. And like, literally, you're going to attract way more people than if you're like worried about the criticisms of a few monkeys that are like there as karmic Buddha fucking moments to like cause you to swerve. That's my advice. Like, don't swerve. Like, just like, what if fucking Freddie Mercury was like swerved? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if people are like, oh, you have buck teeth, don't be a lead singer. It's like, fuck y'all. Like, he's Freddie Mercury. You know what I mean? It's like that. So what you reminded me a little of is Morpheus. It's like his joy was to unplug people from the Matrix and to find the one. That was his joy, right? Like, ultimately, his joy leads to his personal salvation as well as the salvation of the Matrix and the Zion and all the shit. So it's like, if he had sat there and listened to all those fuckers in like Matrix Revolutions who were like, oh, you're wrong, are you sure? I don't believe this. And he's like, my beliefs don't require you to believe in my beliefs, right? It's like, you gotta just hold that middle path, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, the greatest joy about all of it is, I get tons of excitement and joy and pleasure from actually, just let alone just figuring things out and discovering certain things and having things fall into place the way they do, and I do get really excited about that stuff. Like, honestly, if you could see, like, how I am, like, in the process of like, I'm literally sitting here wringing my hands together and like,
it's your drug of choice. I mean, it's like what gets you off.
Oh my god, like, Christy used to always see how excited I would get, and I would literally like do this thing. I wring my hands together and get all excited about it. And I mean, you can hear it.
It's like Scrooge with money. It's like you with information, dude. That's the whole point of Venus. You find that like your value is communication for the collective. That's what I was telling you. 12. I mean, dude, it's real, and you're blessed with Jupiter in the 12th house. You are the dreamer, telling us the syntax of the dream. That's what's going on here. So, I mean, for what little I could say, and I don't know if we should wrap it up because it's hitting an hour mark or what. That's up to y'all. Don't like find the others, like people like me, people like Rafael, whatever, who are fully supportive of you without attachments. You know what I mean? We're not judging you. We're your friends, right? And I've never met you. I hope to meet up someday. Speaking of which, like, there's people, Amber Scott, she's in Texas again. She got back from Costa Rica. She was talking about, she lives in San Antonio. You're kind of down that way. I don't know how, I'm not saying go start a fucking David Koresh cult, but it's like, we need to be starting to bunk up with the people we relate most with and making the culture and raising the vibes. And I swear to you, it's going to be like those, whale ships from Arrival or whatever, where it's like they're gonna, or like Independence Day, like all these ships like pop up everywhere and then look at what they can do, and not in a destructive sense, but in like a raising the vibe sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Amber Scott, actually, she messaged me as well, and she's been wanting me to get down and join the crew and do some things there, what they're doing in Costa Rica, which would be really, really dope. I would love like
dude, I'm dead ass. Like, if we could join up sometime and like bunk up, I don't care if it's a month or 3 months, 6 months, a year, I don't really give a fuck on time scales. You would make a cool roommate. I know that. We would have so much fun, and that doesn't mean we'd always have to play ping pong and hang out and shit, but it's like, dude, you're the kind of monkey I want to be living with, right? Raphael too. Like, we've got to be finding the others, making these little like biodomes of consciousness, and straight up, it's like Santa's little elves in their shop, like they do their shit, and then the whole world benefits from it. It's not just the elves, they're doing what they're made for, and I think we're all starting to step into our stride for what we were made to do.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's ultimately, especially right now, that's the most important thing for me, especially in, not just for me, but in everything that I'm trying to do, is I'm at that point personally where, when I first started doing all of this, honestly, I know, don't get me wrong, there's so many of you guys out there that love all this stuff that is going on. And not just with what I'm producing, but with, so many things going on. But when I first started doing this back in 2013, at least as far as the lifting the veil stuff, was when I started all of that in 2013.
That's when I started waking up. You had probably a much more pivotal role in my awakening than you realize. Continue.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that was sort of like, there was this massive energy in the air, and it was glorious. It was amazing what was going on, and it could have
been a solar cycle. But go ahead.
What made it so much more, I think, so much more powerful than what is going on right now, is that there was tons of other people that were actually adding to my syncs. I mean, they were adding things that were both valuable and extremely meaningful, and it just fit really well. And that's where I first met a lot of you guys, like my one of my other good homies, Stephen Green, for OpThink Radio, and that's where I met True Theory, Christopher Lord, and so many others, where all this stuff was syncing together, and we were all sharing, in these massive, and Santos was a part of that as well, at the time, before.
God bless that Aries.
Yeah.
I'm so sad for him.
Before we all got, divided and pit against each other. Basically, money does that. Money is the thing that does that. But the point that I'm getting at is that what made it so glorious was that we were all sharing syncs that were both meaningful and influential and impactful, and actually added a lot of value to the original work. And that's literally what completed the cycle and kept the cycle flowing, and it didn't divert and didn't detract, or it didn't break that cycle. That water cycle essentially is what it related to the water cycle. It always returned back to the source, and it continually fed itself as it grew and as it expanded. And I have not been getting any of that meaningful, like, people haven't been adding meaningful syncs to anything that I'm putting out, and like adding, certain.
It's been dry, is what you're saying.
It has definitely felt like.
So here's two ways to look at it. One is that this is an obstacle you've chosen to put in front of yourself to grow through. That's a positive kind of way of looking at it. Otherwise, you got to adapt and change your algorithm to get back into the mode that you were. Either way, right? It's like, all right, find the others. Who are you resonating with? Don't worry about those haters. Don't spend 6 hours making a video response to some guy you're never going to talk to who just like give you shit. It's like, talk to the people that get you off.
Yeah, but that's actually the point, though, is that literally every single one of the Symbols of Power stuff started as a direct response, as a Facebook rebuttal to debunk someone's. It was a direct response to someone's, and then I ended up deciding to write it down on paper, and then it ended up becoming the Symbols of Power, stuff.
So then it really is just about like honoring the process that you, for some super conscious, subconscious reason or whatever, have placed yourself in. Like, the conditions of your video game are like, sometimes it seems like you're Mario who goes into the tunnel down into the fucking, underworld or whatever. It's like, and there's good to that and bad to that, obviously. But I'm just saying, it's not absolutism. I'm not saying never listen to detractors, never debate. I'm just saying I think the reason you're kind of drying out is because you're not recharging your battery. How do you recharge your battery? Find the fucking people that high voltage you, that kind of thing.
So stay tuned for the next part. We'll pick up right here where we left off. You can watch it. I will leave any intros and stuff out so that you can watch it in a consecutive style. And so again, my name is Cullen Smith. This is Lifting the Veil. You can find all of my full books, presentations, videos, films, articles, posts at patreon.com/liftingtheveil. And there is also a ton of exclusive content, and I will leave the cited reference links in the description down below, so you can check that out for all of my full content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned, make sure to subscribe. Please help me reach more people by sharing these videos around on the internet, because I rely solely on word of mouth, and the recommended algorithms are not recommending any of my videos or films anymore. My channel has literally been completely restricted, so I rely on your help, and I need your help. So please help support this channel by sharing my work around if you appreciate it, and make sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, and leave me your comments. I definitely want to know what you have to share and what you have to think about all of this stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Y'all stay safe and take care of yourselves, and I will see you later.